Good morning, traders. I am Emily Advani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Tuesday, July 16th. It's finally the Dow's turn. Yesterday during regular trading, the Dow ended in record territory after adding 210 points, or more than 0.5%, to close at 40,211 points. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ also closed in the green. The S&P 500 advanced more than 0.25%, and the NASDAQ gained 0.4%. Bill, let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes. Good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're up 0.11%, a little over 0.1%. Gotta think that's positive. We're cautiously higher. I mean, markets are really continuing to price in a September rate cut. I mean, it's looking for about 70 basis points of cuts in for this year, which is more than we had earlier this year. I mean, before it was like 50 basis points. Now we're up to 70 basis points, so that's kind of positive. So you're seeing the markets kind of push higher on that, being fed by the anticipation of rate cuts happening. In terms of the Dow yesterday, yeah, it did move up big, but it was really done on three stocks. Caterpillar and Goldman and J.P. Morgan and United Healthcare were rallying all day yesterday. So I think United Healthcare kind of sold off towards the end of the day. But I still think it's positive overall. So take it from there. This morning, hey, we got that retail sales report coming out. That could be very interesting. Now it is supposed to be weak, but that could actually play into the odds for a September rate cut. So the weak retail sales data could actually be a positive. What else do we see? Match Group is trading higher this morning. Apparently, Starboard value fund, is building a position in Match Group, so that could be very interesting for that stock. Earnings, hey, we got some positive earnings out this morning from Bank of America, PNC, United Health, and even Morgan Stanley. So that's good to start the day. In Europe, I mean, Europe, there's a lot of weakness going on. Autos, luxury, retail stocks, a lot of underperformance even in the Chinese stocks. You're looking at the DAX. The DAX is down 101 points, or 0.55%. We're looking at the FTSE. The FTSE's down 38 points, or 0.47%. You're looking at the CAC. The CAC is down 60 points, or 0.79%. Germany, corporate earnings, they're coming in light. That's causing sentiment to decline. London, weakness also in the mining sector. France, that luxury sector is like tech to the U.S. But just remember, there's an ECB announcement coming out on Thursday that could turn markets. Now let's take a look at Asia for a second. Asia, we did see some mixed action. The Nikkei jumped 84 points, or 0.2%. I saw some positive action, defense stocks and auto stocks. Hang Seng dropped 287 points. That's 1.6%. Why it dropped was because you saw some of the big brokers. I'm talking Goldman, I'm talking J.P. Morgan, I'm talking Morgan Stanley. They all lowered their 2024 growth forecast for China. That's not good. China, Shanghai market finished higher by 2 points at 0.08%. Remember, they got that big meeting going on this week, and that's the announcement could happen tomorrow or tomorrow morning. So we got to keep an eye on Shanghai because that market could bounce tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what that announcement does. But we're also keeping an eye on oil because oil is, really key right now. Oil is getting smoked. I mean, you got WTI down almost 2%. It's trading at $80.28 a barrel, whereas Brent's at $83.37 a barrel, down 1.74%. What's going on? Chinese demand concerns. That's really it. But we get the stockpile reports coming out. You get the stockpile report coming out after the market closes today. And then you got another one tomorrow morning. Remember, this will be a week without a holiday, so we'll have to wait and see how they come in. I'm not sure just yet. I'm still cautious on the stockpiles report about showing a build. I still think we could see a draw in it. But that's what I have for you in terms of a morning update report, Emily.
A couple of things that you mentioned in there, Bill, that retail sales report, which we're keeping an eye on, that and other economic events today. And of course, you mentioned some earnings, some big names here. So why don't we get into earnings action first? Give us a rundown of what we should be watching when it comes to earnings.
Let's talk about earnings action. Let's see what's going on here. We got the Bank of America. They came out with a beat by 3 cents, and they did that on higher revenue. That stock's up a little over 2% this morning. That's positive. United Healthcare, they beat by 14 cents. They did that on higher revenue. United Healthcare up only 0.6%. Some guidance concerns. Morgan Stanley beat by 17 cents on higher revenue. On higher revenue. Look at Morgan Stanley this morning. Stocks down 2.79%. But State Street, ticker STT, Sam Tom Tom, they beat by 12 cents on higher revenue. State Street is up 0.7%. Upcoming, we got JB Hunt, ticker JBHT, John Boy Henry Tom. Their EPS is $1.53, and the expected move is 6.16% when they release this afternoon. Interactive Brokers, they're also releasing this afternoon. Ticker IBKR, their EPS is $1.69. Their expected move is 4.41% when they release this afternoon. And then tomorrow morning, we got Johnson & Johnson, Johnny John, J&J, John Nancy John. Their EPS is at $2.73, and the expected move is 2.39% when they release tomorrow morning, Emily.
You did mention IBKR in there, Bill. We're awaiting their earnings later this afternoon, but that was your pick of the day yesterday. By the end of the show, we will check in with you to see how that went. Now we're going to get to the day's economic events. Bill, give us a look at everything we should be watching there.
8:30 a.m. We get the retail sales estimate. There is for it to come in a little light, down 0.4%. Import export prices also out at 8:30, and then at 10 a.m. we get the housing market index. I see that we're going to be hearing from one of the Fed governors today, where Governor Adriana Krugler is going to be speaking at 2:45 p.m. Just a note on that retail sales. I mean, retail sales in in May actually were a little higher. They were up 0.1%, but they fell down. They were down 0.2% in April. So I'm not really surprised to see a little lower of number on the retail sales, but I think it could surprise you. So that's going to be the key economic data report coming out today, Emily.
And Bill, you're going to be keeping an eye on that retail sales report because you have an economic alert. You're able to watch your NewsWare and get that information as it comes out versus trailing behind, other news outlets gathering that information and publishing. You have your professional news wire right in front of you to get that as soon as it comes out. You also get other types of news, data, and information from different sectors and segments, things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings. You also group your stocks together, like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks, to catch trends on the trading day. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just doing a quick data check. I'm looking at it. I see 19 higher on the Dow, 8 lower, the rest unchanged. What's really bothering me is Travelers Group, ticker TRV, down almost 4% today. I also see some positive action, like Amazon's, ticking higher. It's up, about 0.8%. I'll get into that in a second. But, you look at your FANG stocks, you're seeing green across the board on the FANG stocks, which is, positive going into today. News behind it, like Apple's trading higher, 0.3% higher, but UK Watchdog Group is probing competitiveness of these digital wallets. We're talking shares of Apple and Google and PayPal. Amazon, we mentioned it's up big today. I mean, I was kind of seeing this yesterday. I tried to place a trade in Amazon last night, but this morning we're seeing it trade higher. Why? Hey, it got a price target raise from a major broker, and Prime Day kicks off today. That's enough to cause that stock to move up 0.7% this morning. What else do we see? We see Google. Citibank is out there. They're with some positive comments on the sector for CrowdStrike and Palo Alto. If Citi buys Wiz, showing Google, it's up 0.3% this morning. That's good. Netflix, ticker NFLX. Listen, it's up slightly, but earnings are out this week, and I see some brokers coming out raising some price targets, some major brokers. So you got to kind of like that. And talk is about is about the crackdown and the password sharing, really paying additional benefits for this quarter. So it's positive. Talking Dow Jones 30 stocks, and we're talking Walt Disney, ticker DIS, David India Sam. Data from Workplace Systems has been leaked online. I don't think that's hurting Disney too much because the stock's trading, it was flat to higher all morning long. Bank of America, ticker BAC, Boeing, ticker BA, Boy Apple. Emirates Sky Cargo, they ordered 5 more Boeing 777 freighters. It's positive for Boeing. Microsoft, ticker MSFT. I'm looking at Microsoft data, and it is trading higher, slightly higher, but they are facing a probe from UK regulators over their AI ties, people they hired relating to the AI data spend that they're doing. Merger news, Match.com, ticker MTCH. MTCH, hey, the stock's moving this morning. It's last I saw, it was up 7%. I'm looking at the stock now, and it's up 7.75%. The Starboard fund built a 6.5% stake in the company. Yeah, I could see it. Those guys could really help them out. What else do we see? We're talking guidance news, PNC Financial, Paul, Nancy, Charlie. They see full year 2024 total revenue down 1 to 2% versus 2023. You're looking at PNC this morning, the stock PNC, and what's it doing? It's down about 6 cents of 1%. United Healthcare, they backed their 2024 EPS view of $27.50 to $28. Street estimate is $27.59. That's nice. It's good. Stock is higher. I think the hacking incident's going to weigh in those full year revenue a little bit more than what they're saying. Deutsche Bank, ticker DB, shares are trading slightly lower. German regulator found that Deutsche Bank incorrectly disclosed tax-deferred tax assets in 2019 financial statements. That's not good for Deutsche Bank. To shareholders meetings going on. Amazon's Prime Day starts today. Autodesk is having a shareholders meeting, starts at 6 p.m. this evening. Scott's Miracle Grow, ticker SMG, Sam Michael Grace, they're having an Investors Day, starts at 8 a.m. today. And that's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what is your pick of the day today?
Going with Alcoa, ticker AA, Apple. I think there's an opportunity here. The EPS is tomorrow afternoon. Now, street estimates have been for a loss of 2 cents, and the expected move is 5.42%. Now, listen, if you really pay attention to these news wires, you will know that a week ago, Alcoa said that they expect to post a profit of 3 cents to 14 cents a share on higher revenue. So that estimate of a loss of 2 cents, it looks like they're going to come in much stronger. And that would be very positive. You're looking at yesterday's call volume, 7,451 calls traded against 1,993 puts. It's like 3 to 1. Look at it, open interest, 134, 171 versus 121, 853. Very positive. Now, the major brokers do like Alcoa. They do like that mining stocks. There's going to be tariffs in the aluminum industry. There's talk about it all the time. Biden is pushing for them. Trump will push for them. So, yeah, everybody wants to put tariffs against Chinese aluminum. So, yeah, Alcoa is a natural play there. So, yeah, this could be good. But, the stock's trading kind of weak this morning, I understand that the miners are weak across the board in Europe, but if I got to feel that this is my opportunity. If I can get into the stock between 38.80 and 39, I think we got a nice winner on our hands. So I'm going to stick with Alcoa. 38.80 to 39 is kind of my entry point, somewhere in there. Ticker AA, Apple, but that's my pick of the day, Emily.
Alcoa it is, and again, ahead of earnings, and you're looking at that specific entry price. Now, that was a strategy employed yesterday for your pick of the day. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to check in on that before we sign off, so stick with us. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our Hot Off the Press segment. Bill, take it away.
SNTI, Sam Nancy Tom India, Senta Bio announces a 1-for-10 reverse stock split. Teladoc introduces mental health care through a partnership with Brightline. Rocket Lab, ticker RKLB, Richard Kilo Larry Boy is in a preliminary deal under the U.S. Chips and Sciences Act in Albuquerque. That could be something. Clear Secure, ticker YOU, Yellow Oscar Uncle opens up 7 new locations. Morgan Stanley had strong investment banking results. Reddit, ticker RDDT, Richard David Tom. Stock's dropping. There was a downgrade on valuation concerns. But all it takes is one minor broker to crush a rally in that stock. So it could be undone, very quickly because it's not a major broker. But we'll have to wait and see if anybody else comes out. United Healthcare provides an update on the cyber attack this morning. United Airlines releasing earnings tomorrow morning. Stock could move for a little of $3.50. I saw this one, it would have hit this morning. SILO, Sam India, Larry Oscar. They secured exclusive licensing for an Alzheimer's therapeutic. I'm not quite sure what that means, but the stock was moving. Cheap stock. Massimo, ticker MASI, Michael Apple, Sam India. They're taking legal action against a hedge fund due to some recent statements and omissions that they put out there. It wasn't positive for Massimo, so they're going to set the record straight. United Healthcare expects a 30 cents higher hit to full year adjusted profits due to the hack at the Change Healthcare unit. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we sign off today, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick. As I promised, I pointed it out early in the show, was Interactive Brokers, ticker IBKR. You did give us a look at the stock during your earnings rundown. They are expected to release earnings this afternoon. Now, looking back at yesterday, you were specific about your entry price here, hoping to get a gain from there. If I recall, your entry price was about 122.25 to 122.50. You're pretty much spot on. It's trading higher this morning. How did your call work out?
Fabulously. I mean, the fact of the matter is, yeah, I was 122.25 to 122.50. But you know what? It opened up at 122.14, which is essentially the low in the day, because from there it just continued to rise. It just walked higher, jumped higher, walked higher. It actually hit a high, it climbed all the way up to 125 and finished the day at 124.66. So it easily beat from the opening price in my entry point. But you look at the stock this morning, 125.28 to 125.80, it already hit 126. So yeah, earnings haven't even been released. Earnings are this afternoon. So IBKR was a winner anywhere you look at it. It was a good trade. Very happy with IBKR results, Emily.
A winner anyway you slice it there, Bill, and we will check in with you tomorrow about today's Alcoa pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.